Hello and welcome to how I play my level 75 wizard, and I got something in store for you guys today. This class changed dramatically, just like I said, at around level 75, and this is for the good, right? Before this, it was a very simple rotation, very simple everything. Now it is a little bit different, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the spells I got memorized at the moment. We can talk about what I would consider the burn for this level at 75, and we'll talk about some other stuff along with gear. So I play on live, so that is kind of the perspective I'm going off with here. But at this point in the game, at level 75, there's no real expansion overlap, right? Like at level 60, you can be in Kunark, you can be in Velius, you can be in Lucklin, right? There's like 3 expansions with 3 different spell sets and gear sets and all that stuff. But at 75, you're in like what is this? What expansion? You're in like Secrets of Fadar and Serpent Spine, right? So between these like expansions, but not really, right? Like all my spells are from the Serpent Spine for the most part. There's some gate spells and stuff from Secrets, because that's where the level cap changed, but for the most part that's kind of how this goes. So it's a little bit simpler from this point on, but the rotation is not. So my first 3 spells are Claw of Selly, Sothgar's Flame, Intertwining Energy. Now I pick these spells because 1, this is a 1.5 second cast, 2.4 second cast, 2.1 second cast, right? I want fast casting spells. I group with my level 91 Shadow Knight, and mobs are dying pretty fast in his group, and the content they kill, I'm accelerating the leveling of this wizard to get him caught up with them, and he's actually doing damage, right? Like he's like, here is this is a level 90 combat dummy. I can actually land spells on it that are the same damage as my normal spells, and you can see there, it's I got my log parser going, so we're gonna see some damage here shortly on how much damage this guy does. It's gonna be a surprise to me because I haven't parsed it yet, so we'll be work that together. But these are fast casting spells. Now Intertwine Energy here is very special. So weaves a bolt of burning energy, inflicting 4,001 damage. There's a chance this pattern will weave and can be harnessed to increase the effect of your next direct damage spell. There's also a chance the pattern will become unstable and reduce the effect of your spells for a short period of time. You can kind of see right here. I don't think it's that one. Let me see here if I can trigger this. This one, Intertwining Energy. There is a buff that you get from this. Notice the recast time on these spells now is something that exists, right? So let me see if I can get it. We'll do one more. There we go. Intertwining Power glows around your hands. So you have a 1 minute buff when that lands to increase your damage. Now also casting a lightning spell gives you Arcomancy. Which the next 5 spells are increased by 680 damage, and that comes from the class here, Trifuticating Magic line, which gives you Pyromancy, Cryomancy, or Arcomancy, depending on what type of spell you cast. Now we're casting all types of spells with my current build, and there's a reason for that, and we'll get closer and closer to that here in a second. Next up, I have Concussive Blast. Now, if you remember early on, I think around level 30, we get Concussion, but it's an instant recast, and it's kind of annoying to cast because if you cast it, it's going to get your multi-bind will get locked up just casting it over and over. Concussive Blast is a 15-second reuse. Now, that is pretty nice for me because I put it in my multi-bind, and this will lower the hatred we generate from our spells. So greatly decrease the hatred of our next 3 spells. You can see right here, Concussive Flames gives us it's random based on what it gives us, right? But the next 3 flame spells will do that, and that's a 1 minute duration. So I can cast 3 flame spells in 1 minute, right? So we'll see that when we start doing the rotation here in a second. Next, I have Chaos Immolation. Now this is kind of like a carry off of the other Chaos spell we had at level 70. This is like the next rank. But they cut the cast time down to 0.75 seconds. And it's, you know, a significant range there. You know, it's almost 1,000 up or down, right, on that damage. But at that 0.7 second recast and a, you know, what is this recast time on this 5-second recast time? That's kind of a nice little spell to have. You know, it's a 4K DPS spell just from that one spell alone. So you can kind of see that. And then after that, I have the two rain spells, Ice Sickle Deluge and Volcanic Eruption. I have both of these in. If we cast it like on these mobs over here, right? It's gonna do, you know, Icicle. It's a targeted AoE. It should hit like a lot of these. It only hits 4, right? So it'll hit them all. I guess only once on that one. And this one's a point blank. Oh, did those share a timer? I don't use them, so I'm like curious. Oh, the 2 targeted AoEs share a timer. That's nice to know, because then that means I don't need to have both of them memorized. Perfect. All right, so we can get rid of that. I don't use them because it's just not practical for how I play right now. Man, what am I gonna put there? I don't even know what I would replace them with. I would leave that spell slot empty. That's, you know, we find something out every day. And then we have this point blank AoE spell. I just have it memorized for fun. Like you see here, it's gonna hit everything. Every single mob in this general area is gonna get hit up to 30. So it's a nice little spell to have, but you know, it is what it is. Patient Harvest is our current level harvest. This is it's a pretty long cast time, right? I can't even cast it because my spells are not up to date, but there you go. So it's a, you know, like, what is this? 12-second cast time. I used to have the harvest in my rotation. I've taken those out. They are no longer there. I'm going to put them probably here on the shift numpad, or numpad 7. I just haven't made a macro for it yet to cast both my harvest spells, but I took them out because they were slowing down my damage. And at this point, it doesn't really matter, because once I'm mounted up, I don't really lose mana as much as you would think I would. And Knowledge Portal is my last spell, just so currently I'm teleporting every 5 levels back to Plane of Knowledge to buy spells, so kind of how that works. Alright, so I don't really cast anything else. I do have some AA buffs over here. There is Ethereal's Unity, which gives us Shield of the Crystal Wing, which is our self buff. Now that's an AA. We also get Improved Familiar. Now, if you remember back, I think it was level 60-ish, we got Familiar, right? We got the Summon Familiar spell. Maybe it was earlier in the game we got that. But I have, like, because, you know, you get a Familiar just for playing the game, right? Doing the quest and stuff. I had this familiar, which gives me the familiar, this buff here. And this is familiar stat A. Now, if we take a look at the improved familiar, it is familiar stat B. So now our familiar kind of stacks, right? We have the wizard familiar and we have the common familiar that everybody can get. So now the stats on our familiar, the one that we get as a wizard, are pretty nice, right? Increases the damage of your single target direct damage spells by 1 to 30%. The damage dealt by your critical direct damage spells by 12%. The casting level of your spells by 9. Your cold, disease, fire, and magic poison resistance increased by 40. Your mana regeneration increased by 12. Your max mana pool by 750, and allows you to see invis creatures. That is insane to be in addition to the other familiar, which does a lot of the same stuff. But this puts our mana regen at 146, and I don't even have clarity right now. Like I don't have clarity, and I don't have Bard Song. So that you can imagine how much that's going to be later on as we start getting buffs, right? So that's really nice to have. I think it's 75 is when it really became the improved familiar. I'm not 100% sure, because when I cast it at level 70, it did not stack. So there's something at that point in there. I haven't looked into it too much, but it's 75. We're using it now. And then, so that's those, right? That's the buffs. Spell-wise, it's, you know, it's that. Now, my rotation's a little weird, because I'm doing it like this. So, Concussive Blast, Interweaving Energy. I have Chaos Immolation, Claw of Selly, and then a Sogar's Flame. Now, the way the rotation's working right now with my current spell haste, sometimes, most of the time, Sothar's Flame does not cast because it just, everything else recovers fast enough. So that is something to keep in mind. But so that spell slot could be removed, or you could swap in the rotation here, Sothar's Flame and Chaos. I prefer Chaos because it's a quicker cast time, and I feel like it's going to help me out long term. But we'll see how that goes. I'm not really trying to optimize my DPS as much as I can at the moment. I'm going for fast cast times because I do group with, you know, higher level characters, and I'm leveling extremely fast. And the 8-second nukes just aren't practical in my playstyle. So that's just, you know, some caveats there. And then after those spells, we cast Force of Will, which consumes mana to deal 1100 damage. This is a 0.1 cast time. Then we cast Mind Crash, which is just a heat reduction spell. I'm considering actually removing it from my multi-bind, and I'm going to build a button for Mana Burn just to do Mana Burn. And let's go ahead and take it out now because we have another one, Arcane Whisper here. So what I envision for that button that I'm going to create is, you know, Mind Crash, Mana Burn, Arcane Whisper. So right, I reduce my damage, my hatred, and then I Mana Burn, which is going to do a significant amount of damage, and then I'm going to do it again to reduce my damage, my hatred some more. I feel like that's kind of where I'm gonna go with that. I don't know what the standard practice is for that. I don't feel like I would be able to pull off my Shadow Knight aggro wise without it, but maybe if I had a warrior or something like that, or maybe my paladin, I might have issues. But I'm not. I just don't feel like I would have aggro issues. But I think separating that out would be nice because these are longer cast times, like 36 minutes. 20 minutes, 1 hour on Mana Burn. So simplifying it down to this might be better. I keep Ward in here, Ward of Destruction now. This one also could probably be a burn only kind of ability, but I'll get so many abilities in these burn buttons that right now I feel like just doing it on cooldown is kind of nice. One of the things I'm concerned about it is since it's AoE, it might cause issues and kill me. Like I've had the wizard die a few times to just random aggro, but the mobs one-shot him where I'm fighting. So I'm not 100% sure if it's a big issue right now. And then finally we have Call of Zul. This is our summoned swarm pet. It does 2 swords, and it casts Allure of Flame, which is a 700-point nuke. So pretty nice. So that's my multi-bind, that's my spells, that's my buffs. My burn currently is Silent Casting, followed by Frenzied Devastation, followed by Fury of the Gods. Now, Silent Casting reduces our hatred every 33 minutes. Frenzied Devastation increases the damage of our direct damage spells, but increases the damage by 40%, the critical damage. So pretty nice there. And then Fury of the Gods increases the base damage of all our spells by 450 points, so it's pretty good. That should really push us into, you know, higher damage marks. And then I have the two hate reduction plus mana burn over here, and I'm still working on how I want to incorporate that. And I think by the time we get to 125, we'll have a nice little way of using that. Let's see here. Nothing's changed here. I put Drizzle of Row, which is our AA harvest, on my short-term duration buff spot. So when I do like all my short-term buffs for my other characters in my multi-boxing, that when I push that button, it will also give him mana back. I don't know how useful that's going to be in that position, but we'll see how that goes long term. Like on my mages, I have like the mod rods, and I'll have, whenever this ability comes in at later levels, that's the mage version of harvest that sucks, you know, mana from your pet and stuff like that. I have those as activated abilities that I do not spam like I spam everything else, so it'll probably be the same here with the wizard. I just, right now, I have it there for, you know, testing purposes, if you will. Let's see here. My assist is still the same, X target 19, so where is he? Right here. So this is Hobbs, my Shadow Knight. He's the character I play from on all this. Whatever he has targeted is X target 19, and all my characters share the same extended target and whatnot when they're in a group. So that's how I assist. I assist to X target 19. I send my Sworn Pet if it's up. I disabled use near the two mod rods. They were being spammed before, but they were actually messing up since I don't have them, or I do have them at times, right? Depending on like if I summoned them or not. Like I have one of them. That was actually slowing down my rotation because it was trying to use that, but then it was giving me you're not the right level. So I disabled those, but these are the level 90 versions that I summon with my mage, right? So when I'm able to use them, I'll re-enable that, and I'll be able to mod rod without losing DPS. Now, putting the mod rods directly in the multi-bind didn't work for me because it just, I don't know, it was slowing up the whole rotation, but it seems to work otherwise. So nothing else has changed other than that. I did put Strong Root here just in case. It's a root spell for an A root for rooting stuff. And then I have Exodus and Abscond right here. So Abscond will succor me, and Exodus will succor the whole group. And that's all of that. Let's talk about gear. So at level 75, Paragon gear, Paragon armor, which comes from the hero's journey, conquest, and special things, right? This character is my necromancer, who I did the entire hero's journey with, and you can see in some of these quests, I think it's like these later ones, like Seeds of Destruction. Oh, where are they at here? Let's go conquest, maybe. One of these, I don't know. Somewhere in here you get the Paragon gear. You get hero's gear, but apparently I destroyed that. Yeah, here we go. Here's the Paragon robe from Storming, Kaisora, and Kerns. So this is from Seeds of Destruction. So doing the Seeds of Destruction, which is 75-ish, 70, 75 content, depending on your ability. But it says 80 to 85, but it would be way easy at 80, I'll tell you that. So it is, required level 75 to wear it. And if you go back like right here to Secrets of Fedor, you can get the heroes version of this stuff also, which is just, the step before this. Now, up until this point, you're going to be wearing Defiant gear, which is just like the step below this. See, I'm still wearing elaborate Defiant, mask and stuff. So some of my items are not fully maxed out, but Paragon gear is where you'd want to go for the majority of your stuff until level 80. And then at level 80, you want to get into House of Thule tier 1 or Underfoot tier 4 gear. But House of Thule tier 1 is probably easier to obtain. There we go. So let's try my rotation here. So I have everything set up, my log parser open, and we'll take a look at this. So I'm gonna spam 5. That's all I'm pushing. It's the only button I'm pushing right now. You can see there my ward went out, Chaos Flame has gone out, all my AA abilities activated on one of those initial things. So Intertwined Energy. Now you see that we get the buffs, right? Like there's some magic to this in the fact that we're getting a lot of these little buffs. Now, like this one, your next Concussive Chill, like your next 3 frost spells do more damage, right? But that's a 1 minute and 18 seconds, so I don't need to like immediately think about switching. That's why we do all 3 different types of magic, right? Fire, ice, and magic. Because we get that buff and we have a spell to get rid of it. And by the time it re-triggers, like I'm almost done with it, right? So if we get Claw here in the next... No, we got Concussive Chill back. So it's just pretty much a perma buff in the sense that we're always going to have it up. Now, I could probably put another Frost spell in this rotation in some way, but I don't feel like I have enough time to do anything because I'm not getting my Flame spell wherever that's at. This one right here, Sothgar's Flame, is not really triggering in this current iteration of my multi-bind, but I think eventually we'll get it there. But you can see how much damage we're doing right now. Like my log parser for some reason is not showing anything. You see it right there, but it's not showing anything. So let's I'm gonna do a few more here. I want to get down to like 75% mana. There we go. Chaos Flame. You can see like we're getting 18,000, 19,000 crits. You know, this is decent damage. And I went and got all the training dummies so I could swap these in and out a little easier for all these videos I make. And actually use real combat dummies versus like the level 90 ones that I just had sitting there from when I was doing Hobbs's video. So it's, you know, it is what it is, but like a 19,000 crit is pretty nice. And I feel like this is a good rotation. I didn't do any math on any of these spells because I know we have bigger nukes, right, that do bigger damage with a better mana ratio, but they're long cast times, and that's just not going to work for how I play right now. Maybe when, you know, I'm 125 and I'm fighting, you know, the bosses at the end of missions and stuff like that, where, I don't, doesn't matter if it takes 8 seconds to cast because the mob's gonna last for, you know, a minute, right? So things like that are different as we level. All right, we hit 75, so. All right, so we did, really? We only did, that can't be right. Let me get this one in here. So is it this one? Oh god, what dummy is that? That is Combat Dummy Kayla. I realize that there's an AoE going out. There we go. Alright, I guess that's that is our DPS. 1000 DPS. I think that's about right. Let's see here. DPS breakdown. A wizard. Let's pop it all out here. Now we were not meleeing, so you know, there's a little bit of loss there, but we don't have a proc on our weapon, so I don't think it would really matter too much. But you can see here our damage. Most of our damage comes from our direct damage. Our pet does very little damage. Very little damage. The procs are doing a little bit, like the Pyromancy proc, you know, doesn't look like we got very many of those. Force of Will, the AA, was actually, you know, pretty nice, but not a lot. Intertwining Energy is really where all the damage is coming from out of this rotation, and then, you know, less and less here. Now, interestingly enough, I don't think concussive blast does any energy or any damage, so you know that is a spell in the rotation. Maybe not having it first might be better, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. I feel like I needed it first because I don't want to accidentally pull aggro. With, you know, some of these crits can cause that, and I'm just not 100% sure yet. So, but 52% of my damage comes from that one spell. So you can see there, it's not too bad. Like, you know, 1.2k DPS. I don't have much. I don't have like a a mage at this level to see, and I don't think I parsed my mage when she and Nomagard were there when they were at this level. So it's hard to say, but this is, you know, useful information for later on. I think we can get higher DPS over time and stuff like that. Now, I don't think there's much else to it, right? Like, it is it's getting to be a fun class, right? As we level up, we're going to start getting some different spells. Like if we look at these activate spells here, sort by name, we're going to get, like, so the druid gets these instacast ice, fire, and magic things just like this. And we're going to be getting, you know, the ice and the fire. We already have the magic one. We're going to be getting these two very soon, which do, these ones do 10,000 damage. They're like near insta-cast. So we'll be putting those probably in our multi-bind. But if it's like the druid ones, they're a drain on mana. So there's some thoughts on that. And then it looks like, concussive blast becomes an AA at level 86. So we'll take that out of the rotation and it becomes a 1 minute reuse. So that kind of will free up the rotation a little bit. We'll see how that goes when we get to that. But, you know, there's some room for improvement. And I think that is kind of like the moral of all this. But I feel like this is the right way to play for me right now. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but... if, you know, it's at least some information for you when you're setting up your wizard and getting your wizard going. If you have questions or comments, you know, hey, you've been playing a wizard since Classic and you know way more about me. Hey, throw me a line and let me know if I'm doing something wrong. Because I do not want to spread misinformation. I want to make sure it's the most accurate. So definitely when I get somewhere, I want to make sure it's right. And I don't watch any other content on any of this stuff. I don't read anything. It's just based on what I can figure out in the game. So let's keep that in mind. So thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.